Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in this incredible round world. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching another MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. You know, this is the time, Tuesday nights, either at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, depending on the time zone of the author that I will be chatting with. Where I bring you the authors who took pen to paper, fingers to keyboard, and decided to share a story. And tonight's story is, whoa, I just feel there's going to be lots of great information. So without further ado, my guest author, please introduce themselves and where are you coming from in this big blue marble?
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Let me just say thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. I'm Judi Turkheimer. I am in New Jersey in the United States, over on the East Coast, where we are experiencing beautiful fall weather. And did you want me to introduce the book?
Well, before we get to there, first of all, let's talk about the art behind you, because those that know me in the world, the real world, or my reality world here in the Lower Mainland, know I love art. So let's just chat about a little bit about Judi before we get into this.
Yeah.
Wow, this pretty heady title.
Yeah, and it's a pretty heady description when I talk about myself, because there's so many pockets of things that excite me and alight me and that I can share with the world. My art is one of those things. These are tapestries. Let me see if I can tilt. There's those three. They're tapestries I weave. And what's different about what I do than what I used to do, which doesn't matter really, is that I try and incorporate things that otherwise would be put in the garbage. So even though it's not a ton of stuff, I feel like I'm saving the planet a little bit and creating art from it. So for example, this one has, you know, the glass beads the granny beads that you hang on your glasses.
Yes,
so that
yes.
They broke. So they're in there. I've got wires in there that I found. There's where the yellow center is netting from a vegetable bag or some kind of bag. And I try and use natural stuffs too. So you can see if I lift it,
Yes.
the headers are wood branches. The one over here are pods that I found in Florida. They are real hard and solid. So I use those. So yeah, that's my art. I'm kind of excited about my art. Thank you for asking.
The one that's got the purple on it, if ever it's missing, it would look very lovely with my big purple couch. Just saying. I
got you on my radar. I got you on my radar.
You know, if I can choose my words carefully here, ironic about what you just shared is I just read the synopsis on Amazon about what the book is about the roller coaster, the journey, and finding yourself. We're going to get into it. Is you didn't throw away your daughter. Like absolutely. You recognize the potential in the vegetable bag, in the piece of wire, in the pods, to be able to weave something new right off the bat, without getting into why you wrote the book and the deep storyline about this book. That speaks volumes to me about who you are.
I love it. Thank you. That has never been connected for me before, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Art weaves life, and I know when I take pen to paper or I draw or doodle, there's something that I'm channeling kind of from my heart that needs to be connected somehow in a new way that I'm not able to connect in the way that I think I'm supposed to be connected to it, or an outcome. So Judi, let's just go into this little book that you've got going on, and please tell the summary of the book or the backstory.
Is it okay if I hold it up?
Oh, please do, because you're going to read from it as well. That's
I am.
Well, I love for people to read the back of the book. So, so we're
Okay.
not judging it by its cover. The juicy part is you got to pick the book up and turn it around, much like humanity. You got to pick them up and turn them all around, whether you
Yeah.
want to connect with them.
Absolutely. So my book, Finding Myself in a Nightmare, A Mother's Healing Journey Through Her Daughter's Addiction, has been a labor of love, truly. I started writing the book about 5 years ago. My daughter, well, I don't know, it might be a spoiler alert. My daughter has been clean for, I think, 8 or 9 years now. Yeah, it's a big yay. And this book, people say to me, oh, it must be so cathartic. Did you write it because it's, for catharsis? And I have to honestly say, no. I wrote it because when I started down this nightmare with her, I was so caught off guard and without information. And there are people who've experienced drugs in some way around them and maybe were tuned in. I never did. And so I really didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know what I was going to do with what I was looking at. I didn't even really want to accept what it was. And I went to the bookstore because I'm not a real big, like, hang out in groups and air my stuff. I am much more private, introverted. And so I looked for a book. And at that time, 11 years ago, there was nothing, zero. And so having experienced it and viewed it, I didn't actually continue telling you what I do also, besides my art. I'm a life coach. I'm a personal life coach. And once I was able to kind of remove myself enough to say, okay, get it together, you got work to do, I started to see through that coaching lens. And I felt like this was a lens that could help others. People going through this. I have to say, people have read the book and said to me, Jude, this isn't just about drug addiction. This is for everybody. Yeah, which is really exciting because it's about finding yourself. I found myself in that, and I had been working a long time. I divorced like 20 years ago, came out of my divorce and said, I have no idea who I am. And I started searching to find out who I am. I became a life coach. I believe with my whole heart that I need to walk my talk. So if I'm asking my clients to do something that's going to change them or that's hard, I need to say I've done it too. And so the lens through which I tell the story, my story, of getting through and also helping my daughter, tough love and support and unconditional love are all sort of enmeshed. My hope is that people who need to learn about the addiction, the whole, that big pot of yuck that is addiction, people who maybe don't know who they are yet, people who just need to be validated that, yeah, you're okay. In the book, in the beginning, I write, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not wrong. You're not bad. Because as I woke to this nightmare, it was filled with a lot of shame. I was filled with a lot of shame and a lot of embarrassment, and that keeps us isolated. And the more I started talking about it, as I started to write the book and I talked to people, and holy moly, like 9 out of 10 people that I would talk to said, oh, I have a sister, a cousin, a friend's child, a friend's parent, an uncle. There's so many people struggling with addiction that most of us, I think it's safe to say, have been touched in some way and can connect in some way. So I felt that there was a need for what I had to say.
So there's a couple of things I love when I let the authors just kind of talk and summarize in their own words. And I'll often forget that if you've got any questions for Judi, you'll see that I don't use StreamYard. That if you're watching this on the live or watching it in the replay and you've got any questions for Judi afterwards, or questions, just throw them into the chat and I'll make sure Judi gets directed over to my Facebook page to make sure she answers those questions. And afterwards, Judi will put a link where you can, people can
Perfect.
buy
And
the
let
book.
me just say that it is later here on the East Coast. It's after
Yes.
8. I get up very early. I also teach. So I may not get back to those questions
Okay.
tonight, but I definitely will tomorrow if I don't.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
now I want to unpack a couple of keywords. I love listening for words that I haven't heard in a long time. And I think that comes from, or I know that comes from a person that is very astute with language. And one word that I want to talk about is that word isolation, and how you didn't disconnect yourself from finding yourself. I hear so many people talk about finding themselves, and I don't, that's a pretty juicy book you've got there, Mademoiselle, in your hands, is how did you stay connected to you, but also felt like you didn't need to isolate yourself from people to be able to help you in this healing journey. I hope that makes sense.
Let me give it a shot. And if I'm on the wrong track, you'll tell me.
Okay.
I want to say that I have some of the most amazing, supportive, encouraging, warm, loving, wonderful family and friends in my life. I am very, very blessed. So where I could, I invited support, and where they could, they supported me. And one of the things that I found that I talk about a little bit in the book is that people have the best of intentions. They want to help, but they don't always do it in a way that is helpful, if that makes sense. So, so there were times that, like, I had a dear friend who took me out to eat periodically, a couple times a month, or out for happy hour or something. And that was, and I didn't need to talk about my nightmare. It was constantly with me, but that was support that I got. Knowing my parents were there really unconditionally. There were some blips, and anyone who reads the book will read about some of those blips, but my parents are rock solid for me, and have been. So to some degree, just knowing that was there allowed me to breathe. And still there was isolation, right? So I had to be within myself. I had to think. I don't know if this is common, but I don't really enjoy complaining to others. I don't enjoy bringing my negative to others.
You want to know why? This is just something funny on the side, is the complaints department is the first to get fired. So there's no point, you're not going to find, and you'll tell someone, it's like, oh, they can't tell anybody, but that's just a side note. That's just something wrong. I'm not going to complain because there's the complaints department.
Well, and I've been working with a spiritual counselor for the 20 years that I've been divorced, and she has this great thing that she says. She says, you only tell a story 3 times because you need to get it out. Maybe you want some feedback, but after 3 times, you're done, or you perpetuate whatever it is. So yeah, I'm just not big on that. And frankly, people don't want to hear, the pain. It is, and I've said it a million times at this point, not 3, but a million. It is the most painful, awful, traumatizing, tragic, terrible time of my life. And I've been through some pretty weird stuff. Many of us have at this point in our lives. This was unlike anything else. And I shared as I could. I got support as I could, but really the general population doesn't want to join you there. Right? They didn't want to join me there. I hate putting it as a you. But it's a hard It's a hard topic, especially if you have a friend or an uncle or a sister or a whatever, as so many people do. The realities within the path are very harsh, can be very harsh. And nobody talks about the upsides. Nobody talks about the people who survive. Nobody talks about, that blip in their life that changed. And yes, a lot of people, we lose their lives. That's a given. But statistics are not kept on how many people don't lose their lives. Dive into this and come out. And I have some thoughts about, what energy does to make that happen. And, there's no guarantees. There's not going to be an experiment on this particular topic, but I really believe with all of my heart that when I made the decision to heal me, that energy connected to my daughter. And, children are so close to us. If you're a mother, they're biologically close, right? We held that, if you're a mother who had them yourself, an adoptive mother, I believe, is just as connected. Father is connected as well. We feel them and they feel us. And so when we do the work, not only are we modeling what can happen, right, but energetically we're fueling that possibility. And I will never know if that was actually a factor, but I do believe that was part of how my daughter healed.
Wow, so many good things in there. I love the fact of when you said about the good things, the uptick. I think as a society and how we connect social media or in reality, when we see an accident, we're just so drawn to it. It's the drama. We start making up in our own heads what's going on in that. Oh, I wonder what happened there. And it's not our story. It's not our story when we witness or we drive by an accident on the side of the road or passing by. It's easy to go to that place versus go to the light, go to the refreshing. And just at those that know me on this page, and I know you know that the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit this past weekend, one of our speakers was talking about finding the good, like finding the good in the kids. Yeah, it was the parent panel that we were interviewing, and they said in their mind's eye, they're always thinking they got to be teaching, but it's also finding the good in the space for them just to be good, like just to find and go, okay, what's going good in your life, and really shining that light brighter and brighter in there, so that when the outside forces come in, it doesn't get the light of their heart over on these dark forces. Sure. And it was so beautiful that you say we also have to have these little wins. I taught a fellow down in Australia, he's just a beautiful fellow, Scotty Schindler, about SMART. Everybody's got SMART goals. With you being a life coach and a lot of the things we hear about SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, results oriented, timely. And I said, no, we do SMART goals. And he's like, SMART goals? And I said, well, you got to evaluate. Elate, and you got to reward, because we tend to go, okay, the next thing. I said, I do smarter goals, because I'd rather work with people like you did with your dog. Okay, this was good today. Okay, so how can we make this 1 minute longer good, 3 minutes longer good, 4 minutes longer good? And you only do that by going back and evaluating the steps that got you to where you are. So, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful story.
And one of the things that it took a while to become so apparent. I was angry. I was hurt. I felt like it was a personal affront. It took me a while to realize it had nothing to do with me from that standpoint, and that the shame and the guilt and the pain that the addict has needed acknowledgement. There was a moment when I met somebody who was in addiction, and this story is in the book. He was a young man, I think he was probably 19. And he said that his parents would hang up on him when he called, and he sobbed. I was at a meeting, and he said, "My parents hate me." And I said, "You know, I don't know your parents, but I don't think they hate you. I think that their pain is so deep that they can't open to you being part of their lives right now." I said, "You do the work, and I guarantee you they'll open their arms again to you. They hurt." And I get that pain. You know, I get that place of, I want to deny this and run away from this and forget this and you know, close the door. And the reality is it never leaves you. You know, if you love somebody who's an addict, it is with you 24/7. You can pretend, you can ignore, you can shut doors as much as you want. It is always there, and it'll be triggered at the worst times, you know? So yeah, there's so much. I say I've learned all the things I never wanted to know about addiction. I really don't want to be this person who has all this wisdom. But there's, you know, that too. I believe that this was thrown in my purview because I have a gift, you know, in terms of putting.
We've got big plans for you, Judi.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, otherwise it doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to believe that.
So let's grab the back of the book. So at this time in my my chats with authors, I love for them to read the back of the book, and then open up the book anywhere that you want, and maybe share a paragraph. Or
I was afraid you'd say that, because I actually have not read the book since the 13th time I edited it.
Oh my gosh! Well, maybe just let the divine.
I may do just that. Yeah, I edit it myself, and I say, you know, there were parts where I cried every time. I knew what was coming. I knew what it said, but I cried anyway, because it is that emotionally gripping to go through this. All right, I have to get the light just right. Finding myself in a nightmare: a mother's healing journey through her daughter's addiction. A raw, vulnerable account of the trauma inherent in caring for an addict. Finding myself in a nightmare: a mother's healing journey through her daughter's addiction is the story of one mother's experience as she woke to the truth, learned to navigate the pain, and realized she had to heal herself from years of self-loathing in order to positively affect her daughter's recovery. Over a period of 5 years, Judi Turkheimer rode a roller coaster of strong emotion as she breathed in the very real possibility of losing her daughter. There were many days fraught with fear, hopelessness, and anguish. As Judi began to do the hard work of healing, feelings of joy and hope started to come out from the shadows. Intended to validate, support, and encourage, Finding Myself in a Nightmare is a story of triumphs, mistakes, pain, discovery, and trust. As Judi takes us into her home and heart, we learn about her biases, her resistance, and her ignorance. Willing to do what was needed to help her daughter, Judi invites us to accompany her on the journey. Finding Myself in a Nightmare is a book about loving an addict, helping an addict, and the search for strength and unconditional love at a soul level. If you love an addict, this book is for you. If you struggle to find love of self, this book is for you. If you want to learn to love unconditionally, this book is for you. Should I read the bio part too?
Please do.
Okay, this is the bio part. A teacher, a writer, editor, and a powerfully motivating, highly intuitive personal life coach, Judi Turkheimer is also mom to 3 beautiful adults. Gifted with a facility to weave words together, Finding Myself in a Nightmare: A Mother's Healing Journey Through Her Daughter's Addiction is her first published book. While crawling through the days of her daughter's drug addiction, Judi knew she had to learn to love herself in order to help her daughter. Now, loving herself fiercely, she delights in offering others the tools that helped her. So that's all the stuff I was already saying.
Immediately, the imagery that comes to mind, Judi, is mirror, mirror on the wall. And being able to look in that mirror and look and have that conversation, whatever pieces that fragmented or not, looking back at you and as they're coming together, and being able to see your daughter in the reflection of what you are putting out to her. Like what you are putting out to the world is that new mirror that she gets to look into. And as she is healed in her addiction and somebody else, she becomes the mirror to the next person. I just see this incredible, I think in quite imagery, that I can see you standing in front of the mirror and just things coming together in her, and then a mirror that she's looking at, and then a mirror that person's looking at, and going out, and it's infinite. What your
Yeah,
wisdom is very infinite.
I love that imagery. I'm very visual as well, so that worked for me really well. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really
So
love
in this last couple of minutes, let the divine pick what you're going to read. Read a paragraph.
a paragraph. I don't know if this is going to make any sense.
Then the
I'm going
first
to read two paragraphs maybe.
Okay, perfect.
On the morning of May 31st, I found a Suboxone wrapper on the kitchen floor and a cut straw in the living room. Both, I had learned, were indicative of drug abuse. Though Suboxone had been given to Kayla in detox, it was classified as a narcotic and could be abused. The straw was a vehicle through which to snort drugs. Panicked, I confronted Kayla. Her reaction was an explosion of defensiveness, accusation, and excuses. She posted a vile rant on social media that included, quote, I am working my ass off to do something that is not easy, that most of you will never understand. I'm not going to fucking use today. I'm sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
I'm not going to fucking use today, and that's a fucking miracle at this point, end quote. So that's two paragraphs.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So
Somebody
Judi,
needed to hear that.
I love how you read the back of the book, because the question I often wrap up with is who should have this book, and on the back of the book, you know, as a gift. We're coming up to the gift giving season, or just when people are looking for something. This is what I'm all about. I'm community connection, collaboration, making sure that when I learn about people and what they do, to me, if I hold what you do to myself, I'm not helping heal the world. So I'm so grateful. Who introduced us again?
That would have been Carrie Severson.
Right, right. And she's got a couple more authors for me too, which I'm really excited. She works with some pretty amazing authors. Thank you for sharing a small bit of your story and your whole self today. You arrive to your family, and I can sense in your family as Judi, not Judy, the mom of a recovering addict. You arrive as Judi, and it's a beautiful being, and that's why they want to be around you, because you arrive wholly, like you did today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to share what I have done, so that the people who need to hear the messages can maybe find them. And you're a delight. Thank you so much for connecting me to you, and for allowing me to put that healing out there. I think we're on the same page with that. That really is my ultimate goal, is that people can start to come out of the traumas, because we all have all kinds of stuff in our backgrounds, and be who they need to be. You know, trauma keeps us down if we let it, and it can elevate us, as I am a living example.
Absolutely.
If we allow it. So yeah, and for anybody out there who is dealing with addiction, you have my heart, and my company, my spirit. If I can be of any help, I want to be, and I just hope that your addict comes through whole.
Thank you again so much. So hey guys, there's another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. At this point, I often say, grab a book, sit down, have a cup of tea, take your mind, brain, body, spirit to a place you've never been before. Could be a place of healing, a place of escape, a place of where your journey needs to go tonight. So again, thank you so much, Judi. Tune in next Tuesday
you,
night, I believe at 7 o'clock next Tuesday night for another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. Good night, everybody.
Namaste. Thank you.